And you see, that's the thing. That's the difference between men and women, there, guys. I mean, if a guy is told his balls are
Oh
dirty,
my
he'll
god.
do something about it. He'll try to clean them. But if you tell a woman her vagina is dirty, she's going to take it personally, and she's not going to give you any more sex.
So good day, YouTube, and welcome to a late edition of Beer Dudes United. I should just start going online without saying we're going online now, so that he doesn't do that.
No, well, I don't know what you're talking about. We were having an in-depth conversation
Anyway,
about
Zardoz.
genitalia. Zardos
what are we all
genitalia
drinking?
cleanliness.
Let's start with Radar. Radar, what are you drinking tonight?
Side launch wheat.
Again, that's your new favorite beer now, isn't
I
it?
love it.
It's gotta
Well, I
be,
also
yeah.
got a side launch pale ale, but
I actually have a side launch wheat at my feet right now. So yeah, and Nicholas, what
Yeah.
are you drinking?
I'll be drinking a Ballast Point Grapefruit Sculpin.
Wow, where the fuck did you get that?
My parents just got back from New Hampshire.
Oh,
What are you drinking there, Lisa?
I'm drinking my Slumming It beer, my Modelo Especial.
Nice.
no.
I am drinking from the brand new brewery in St. Catharines, Plan B Beer Works. I am drinking their brown ale.
Okay.
I just reviewed it before we turned on this camera because they come in crowlers, so it's more like a roast beer than a regular brown. It's smoky as fuck. I like it.
Nice.
So yeah, like usual to anyone watching, and apparently we have 2 viewers, so we have 1 viewer, because Lee is usually watching.
That's right.
We will take questions and comments and all that, so make them, okay? We have a better show when we're interacting with you. But yeah, first and foremost, we'll go on to the stupid Canadian beer news that we always do first. Lake of Bays and the NHL Alumni Association released their next beer, which is a new top shelf lager. This one is a top shelf Vienna lager.
Well, that's a step up from the regular shit. Could be, possibly.
This new beer will replace the previous top shelf classic lager at beer stores and LCBOs. So if this is any better, I'm actually happy. They are passionate advocates for greater quality of life for former NHL players. Is the NHL Alumni Association, of course. I believe they've made something like $100,000 with this beer deal in the last 4 years. So I mean that's an easy $100,000 that you didn't have to do much other than license your names.
Yeah.
Brewery news. Faculty Brewing, now open in Vancouver. Faculty Brewing opened up with an initial lineup of 107 Blonde Ale, 241 Mint Hefeweizen. Ooh, you'd like that. There.
No, I really wouldn't.
Get him 3 bottles of it.
305 Saison, 408 Chinook Pale Ale, 419 Centennial Pale Ale, and 710 Oak Stout. All available by the glass and in growlers to go. So the first thing I would say about that is, yeah, the number system is kind of stupid. But anyway, the only thing I'd say about that is at least they have a mixture of easy-to-come-by beers and different beers for a brewery opening up in Vancouver, not like the ones that are like, hey, we just have a pale ale and a lager.
Yeah, their lineup's interesting to start off with. Oak Stout sounds good.
Yeah, Oak Stout sounds good. The Mint Hef sounds interesting.
No, it doesn't really.
Yeah, it really does. Mint banana and coriander, that could be cool.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, man, that sounds nasty.
Boy, I have a
Your
lot
palate
of
is so your palate is so stupid and wrong. It's just unbelievable.
we got a lot of variety for a new brewery.
Nova Scotia just had a soft launch brewery, Saltbox Brewing.
Salt box.
Launched in Mahone Bay.
Something like that.
Well, I guess it's better than a fishy box.
They started off with an IPA, a dark cream ale, and a Hefeweizen, with a Scottish ale, a stout, and another cream ale to follow.
Yeah, that might be good.
Yeah.
Get me into some salt box.
Salty box.
Salty boxes, yeah.
Shiretown beer returns to New Brunswick
Nice.
in Dalhousie.
Dalhousie.
Well,
I always
it
thought it
would
was
Up
Dalhousie.
in the North Shore.
be Dalhousie here.
No, it's Dalhousie, as in, the goddamn college campus. Everyone knows about this
No,
stuff.
I'm just saying that exact same spelling as Dalhousie in Ottawa and down here and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
That's
speak like a
weird.
redneck from Ontario.
He
Yeah.
is a redneck from Ontario.
Black Shell was born in
And
Quebec.
they reopened with Blonde de Quay, which I've had thanks to Nick, and that was a pretty good beer. And the new Cartier's Columbus Golden IPA.
I hope they bring back their brown.
By the way, Winter is coming wants an invite. He just posted in the comments there. I don't know if I'm in contact with him on the Facebooks or not. I can't remember. If someone here is.
Winter is coming. His wife is gonna let him come on. Wow.
Well, she looks like she tolerates a lot, considering the footage that I saw. She's a very, very good woman.
I'm really jealous. He actually showed me some pictures of some beers he picked up on his little trip. And, I mean, I'm not jealous of them all because he got a lot of Lake of Bays beers, but I am jealous of one beer from Sawdust City, which was the Tale of Two Ales.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Tale of Two Titties.
Which was their sour IPA. Yeah, they had a sour IPA collab. With,
Sour IPA collab.
Stone City Brewing, I believe, in Kingston. Is my camera still on? Are you still looking at my face? Did I forget to turn it off? Fuck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's just been sexy time. Chicka chicka bow wow.
Well, I usually turn it off so you guys don't have to look at just the top of my head while I read these things. But,
well, the top of your head's better than your face, so I mean,
that is true. I mean, I'll give you that.
It's like we're looking at like a poodle on camera, like just rummaging around on your.
Do I have to slap you? Port Rexton Brewing, now open in Newfoundland. So Newfoundland has a new brewery. I gotta try and get some of these Newfoundland beers because everybody keeps telling me they're great, and I keep getting asked to do the macro beer, Iron Horse or something like that.
And then there's like some other one. There's some sort of.
Yeah, me and Guy had that when we went to
I keep getting guys going, "Hey, can you review this?" I go, "Hey, can you send it to me?"
Yeah.
What do you mean? I go, "You're in Newfoundland. I'm in Ontario. How do you want me to do this?"
Yeah, from what I understand, some of them, like their macro brands, are named like basically different named versions of the macro stuff.
I would expect that. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably regional names for a lot of things. So they opened up with Island Blonde Ale, Horse Chops IPA, and Night Booze Porter.
Night Booze. Oh, that's a great name. I like that.
So samples, glasses, and growlers are available at the brewery tap room. Oh, and they're open from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day. So I mean,
Wow.
that's actually a good starting hour time. Like not one day a week you can come in.
And if their beer's good, they'll be doing good business, man.
Plan B Beer Works, where I was just at, they opened up on Friday in St. Catharines. They are open from 2 to 9 p.m. 7 days a week right now. He started off with Canadian Pale Ale, a Hefeweizen, a Ruby Ale, which is their brown ale. This is not 100% true. Sweet Milk Stout ESB and an IPA. Originally, he was going to be Short Hills Brewing in Pelham, but after a year of red tape with Pelham and getting a brewery open in the rural areas, he looked for a new location in St. Catharines and became Plan B. They're a 100-liter system, so they're a small little nano brewery. Beautiful little place, though. It was in an old bistro that was in downtown St. Catharines. I was actually talking to him a bit while I was there. I'm like, did you have any trouble getting a license? He's like, well, what do you mean? I go, well, in like 2010, St. Catharines came down and said nobody's getting a license in downtown anymore. Like, they were done. They didn't want any more bars. They didn't want anything. No restaurants could get a new license, nothing. He's like, no, I didn't have any trouble. He goes, but I did have a little bit of trouble where I was trying to get my license and they didn't know what I wanted. They're like, so you want a liquor license? I'm like, no, I want a limited liquor license so I can sell beer to go and have 12-ounce glasses. Oh, well, we've never done one of those before. Well, it doesn't matter if you've done one of them before. This is the paperwork for it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't know what that is. Well, here's the number to the AGCO. Call them and ask them. Oh, we don't talk to the AGCO. Well, then shut up and take what I'm telling you as what it is.
Man, bureaucrats are so fucking pathetic. Every one of them's got their little fucking throne that they sit on, and they're the master of all they survey, and they don't want to fucking answer to anybody else. They're all in their own little fucking worlds, man. It's fucking pathetic.
The place is beautiful. The bathroom, for those of you that know me in person, my shoulders are kind of wide. Like, I'm a bigger guy. I have a gut and all that, but I also have a build because I was doing strongman and stuff. My shoulders are wide. I can't get to the sink to wash my hands in their bathroom.
Oh, that's small.
My elbows are
That's a
rubbing
fail right
against
there.
each of the. Yeah, my elbows rub on the wall. So I did do a bathroom review. I'll post that in the next day or two.
So it kind of looks like one of those cans of tuna that's gone really bad, where it's starting to like break out of the can, and it's not quite fitting.
I still think TWB's was the nicest one, or coolest one at least.
With the blackboard everywhere.
Yeah.
So you should just. It almost should be just a separate channel for you, where you just do bathroom reviews of not only breweries but just everywhere you go.
I do them everywhere I go now. I did one at the.
God, so demanding.
How dare you not? How dare you not?
Hey, you're one of the few people I still watch, so you better.
So I sent him a join link, and I guess he didn't want to join. Brandon.
Brandon.
It's coming.
I know you watched the one where I was really hammered.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a few. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. But I'm really
Yeah.
Is that
I was gonna
the
say
Compass
the one.
Rattler?
What?
I was gonna say just the one video. I recall several videos that were posted in the last few nights where you and Guy were just fucked out of your minds doing reviews. Oh, hey, we can barely stand. Let's review some fucking Johnny Walker Red. Good idea.
Yeah.
And the pours you guys poured. Jesus Christ, guys. Were you looking to go to the hospital that night? Holy fuck.
Probably. Or at least we had it on ice afterwards, right?
Yeah, I guess. Man.
It's much better on ice.
So there's this new brewery in Toronto. It's called Henderson Brewing, and they have like 2 core brands, and then every month they do a seasonal. Basically, apparently, fairly hipster from what I've been told. But they have these two beer clubs, and Greg actually put me onto the beer club, and he was like, "Hey, look at this beer club. I would never pay that much money." And then I looked at it, and he didn't realize that it was 12 beers a month, so 144 beers. He thought it was just 12 beers. The thing was $1,000 a year, and it's 12 beers a month. It's 6 beers of their seasonal, and 6 beers of their one core brand, the main brand. And he's like, "Oh, that's not as bad." And then I did the math because they have the price for their bottles online, right? So I did the math for the price of 6 bottles a month of the regular and 6 bottles a month of the seasonal. And if you get this $1,000 club, you're actually being cheated out of $104.95.
Okay.
Than if you had bought the beers separately, just on your own, the exact same amount of beers.
Now, take into account, are some of these like special beers? Are they harder to get? Like, are they the ones that you might have trouble finding otherwise?
Well, everything is going to be the same. You have to go into the brewery to pick it up, and
okay.
They still have some of the ones from the last 2 months.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of garbage then.
Yeah, they're not shipping it to you or anything. You're going in to get it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's even worse. Fuck them. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound worthwhile.
I thought it was kind of funny, I'm reading this up, and we're talking back and forth about it while we were talking about new breweries in Toronto, and then I started doing the math on it. And I'm like, wow, this is intriguing.
Yeah. I guess they're just kind of hoping that most people won't do the math. They'll just be like, "That sounds like a great deal. I'm going to get in on it."
I mean, that's probably what they are thinking, but I'm one of those idiots that actually does the math.
But yeah, I mean, most sensible people who are on a budget kind of want to know these things, you know. But you know, I think they're betting on the sort of hipster crowd that's into buying whatever's new from some small new brewery or whatever, and then they're just going to see that sort of across the board $1,000 price, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm going to jump right on that, bitches. That sounds great," and they're just going to assume, "Oh, it's going to be a great deal." So, but they, yeah.
Now, Stephen Beaumont posted something recently, and I actually I copied the quote completely, and I forgot to post the news article about it, but whatever. But anyway, the quote completely was, "A little context for all of those craft brewery acquisitions as of late. In the last few days, Gruppo Campari purchased control of all of Marnier L'Apostle, including the Grand Marnier line, a pair of successful wineries, and a French villa for about 25% less than Constellation paid for Ballast Point."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
That is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so they bought 2 successful wineries, Grand Marnier, which is a very well-received cognac, a French villa.
Yeah.
And, yeah, everything else that's in the Marnier portfolio for under what Ballast Point was sold for on its own.
No, that's huge. They just sort of swept in and grabbed that before anyone else could. That's pretty good.
I'm curious if the Ballast Point sale will ever actually pay out for them. Recently, in the last few days, there has been a news article that 2 of the founding members of Ballast Point and the research and development brewer have abandoned ship. So their head brewer, their R&D brewer, and their chief executive officer have all left the company. Which I mean, can Sculpin in all of its different variants stay 100% true without the 2 people that made it? Then probably in time they could get there, but will it be good enough for them now? But like you just paid $1 billion on a company. What are you feeling when your 3 main key cogs in that wheel are gone?
Well, you never know. I mean, you don't really know what the situation is day to day on the floor there. I mean, they could very much have groomed successors who are totally competent and can produce the same product, and they're just like, "Hey, we just got $1 billion for this brewery. We got our share or whatever. We're getting the fuck out of it." And that might be the case. It might be the case that they're just doing it and they're leaving it to sink as well. You never know. But I'm kind of assuming that maybe it was almost like a transition period where we got the sale of the brewery. We got our money. We put our apprentices in place who know how to do the shit that we did, and now we can comfortably leave. Perhaps that's the situation instead of they're just abandoning ship all of a sudden.
Yeah, possible. Good day to both Gregory and Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
what are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Yes, Brandon.
It's Stack 72. It's an Imperial IPA from Sudbury. Great beer. Just did a bit of a road trip up north, hit a bunch of breweries.
Cool.
I've got an Imperial IPA from Toronto.
Oh.
Ooh.
Sexy.
Witch Shark.
Witch Shark. I wish I had bought more of them. But oh well.
I actually just had another one, Bitter Beauty. It's Soda City's new Imperial as well. So, going hard tonight.
Like I said, I'm still drinking the new brown ale from Plan B.
I gotta say, Soda City is the one brewery that I'm jealous of living in Toronto that I can't get up to more often. They make some good stuff.
Yeah. They're definitely my go-to.
Okay, we do have a comment here.
Alrighty.
Paul Kozlowski says, "Hey guys, with So much craft beer being produced right now, and new beers popping up at the LC all the time. I can't help but feel, after drinking and trying new craft beers for many years now, that most of what's out there is just a bunch of people trying to cash in on the craft beer scene. Yesterday, I bought some beer from Woodhouse Brewery from Toronto. It was a lager for $3.10, I believe, for a tall boy, and honestly, it was no better than a fucking Moosehead or even Labatt Blue. Just feel like the price of a lot of, but not all of these craft beers is outrageous and is a money grab. Wanted your guys' thoughts on it. Thanks, and keep up the great reviews.
Actually, I
Agreed.
actually reviewed the Woodhouse beer just last night, and I was actually going to bring this up as a topic later on today, because we've talked about the beer bubble quite often. And I've thought now, with a few things that have happened over this year, that we are seeing a bubble burst, but people aren't realizing it. And what's going on is contract brewers are dissolving. Lots of contract brewers are dissolving. They're falling to the wayside without people even realizing it because they don't have a brick-and-mortar building. So since you can only get it at the LCBO if it's there, or at bars, they're just disappearing. And, I mean, you're seeing all these breweries that are opening up that actually have a tap room that people can go into, sit down, meet the people, end up loving the contact, like, loving them, and going on from there. But things like Woodhouse Lager is actually a really nice lager. It's an American amber lager. It's good. It's good for what it is. But he's right. It's $3 a can. It's $2.95 plus the 10-cent deposit. Is it worth $3.05 a can? No. But where does that $3.05 come from? The fact they're a contract brewer, so they actually have to charge a lot more to make the exact same little tiny margin that a brick and mortar are making anyway, because they're actually having to pay a brick and mortar brewery to house their beer, to brew their beer, and then to help them package their beer before they move it out. So it's kind of stupid to me, and this is what I was talking about too. Is you're seeing all these contract brewers making pilsners and lagers and kolsches. Cowbell Brewing Kolsch. Cowbell right now, they actually have a brewery being built, but right now they are a contract brewer. Ace Hill, contract brewer, making a fucking pilsner. Lost Craft, contract brewer, making a Kolsch. Woodhouse, making just lagers. There's no reason to try and force yourself into an already saturated market of, like, a bar market with just fucking stupid lagers when you're already having to overprice them, to get into the LCBO when you're already having to overprice them. If you're going to be a contract brewer, make something interesting that people are going to want to pay that extra little bit to.
Yeah. It's kind of a... Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, just on top of that, the other thing I hope bubble bursts, that seems to be the trend now, is rich people or more likely children of rich people that are trying to jump on this bandwagon and open a brew pub in Toronto or elsewhere because they can afford to do so, and they don't really give a shit about the beer so much. Sure, they like beer, but they don't work hard to do it. They hire a fancy brewmaster, and they don't put in the work themselves, and poof, overnight they have a brewery. And I hope a lot of these guys go bankrupt.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
Well, you have a lot of those right off. You have two different venues on that too. I mean, you have your Brock Street, where it was a bunch of lawyers that wanted into stuff. You have your Baysville, which was a bunch of rich people that wanted into it. You have the Exchange, but at least the Exchange can make some good beer, even though it's way too much money.
They paid $600,000 for a brewmaster. I sure as hell hope he can make some good beer.
Well, true. Like, you have all these people that jumped in with money, and then you have guys like Forefathers. Forefathers came in. That guy is a billionaire, but he knows how to sell his brand, and he makes good beer.
Yeah, I enjoyed more. I think every one of his beers, Forefathers, was really good.
Yeah, he made good beer. He has a lot of money, but he got into the company. He surrounded himself with the right people, and he's actually the guy going to the festivals and talking to everybody. So it's not like he's standing back and letting everybody do everything for him.
Well, and I mean, for the record, I'm not saying these guys can't make good beer or the people they hire can't make good beer, but to me it's sort of the argument of two guys buying a Corvette. One guy scrimps and saves and works hard and pays for it himself. The other guy has his parents buy it for him. Who do you respect more, right?
Yeah.
I respect the guy who actually worked for it because, and he probably appreciates it more. That's how I feel about breweries. I respect the guys that have to actually that actually know how to make beer, and they actually scrip and save and beg and get loans to make their breweries, versus these guys that are like, well, I like beer, let's get mom and dad to pay for a fancy brewmaster, a fancy brew pub, and boom, we're
So,
good to
so
go.
you like when you walk in and you see them still have some plastic fermenter somewhere in the back instead of everything being full stainless auto vents and everything else.
Frankly, as long as they make good beer, I don't care what the place looks like, and I actually prefer if it's a little bit more warehousey in its look, as opposed to how fancy and shiny some of these places are nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, to his comment, I do find that a lot of contract breweries are now just a shell for me to throw money at that I just don't care to do anymore.
Yeah, there's it's getting to the point where there's too many out there, and like it really is kind of it's not like an immediate burst. It's kind of a slow burst, essentially with the bubble, where you just see guys falling by the wayside now, especially the contract brewers, like you said, for the reasons you said. It's just a weird business model to get into. I don't see why they thought they were going to be successful with that.
Yeah,
Because-
if you go into contract brewing, it really should be you're going into contract brewing, you already have plans to start up, and you just
Yes.
want to get your brand built before you completely open. But a lot of these guys have been doing it for a long. Like Spearhead is still contract brewing. They've been around for 6 years. I tried them when I first started doing this. Like,
Yeah, that's
how are you? Like,
ridiculous.
their whole idea was always to open up a brewery. But how are you making enough money to open up a brewery when you're only making something like 20 cents a beer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they
And
going
then-
through difficulties right now? I thought I heard they were pulling out of the LCBO.
All the contract guys are starting to go through difficulties because you have now 150 stone, like brick and mortar breweries in Ontario, and you have another 60 coming. People are going to the brick and mortar because you can just walk in and walk out with your beer. You can walk in, sit down, and have beers. You don't have to try and find where you can try this stuff.
Right.
And again, their margins are better. It's the weirdest thing ever, though. Like, there's currently 42 contract brewers in Ontario, and there's supposed to be another 30 starting, while there's 150 brick and mortar, and another 60-ish supposed to be coming this year. There is going to be a bubble burst, but nobody's going to even realize it happened because nobody's going to know these breweries disappeared because you don't see them. They don't have a physical property.
Yeah. We have a comment from Devin on Facebook. He says, "Audio on this BDU is fucked. Someone sounds like they're driving NASCAR."
That's probably me.
That's Greg sitting on his balcony.
That's Greg with the fucking new Fast and Furious movie being filmed outside his fucking apartment.
That's right.
Bitter Beauty that Winter is Coming had is better than Twin Pines, in my opinion. I love Twin Pines, though. Nothing against that beer.
Is that from Devin again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Twin Pines myself, or Lone Pine, but I personally love Sawdust City's dark beers.
Yeah, they're big on the stouts, Imperials. Apparently, they're going to be barrel aging Long Dark Voyage this fall. So looking forward to that.
I wish they barrel aged the Bloody Long Dark Voyage.
Yeah,
Ooh, that was a good beer.
never had that one.
So I love the Lone Pines, and I've never tried the Twin Pines. I'd really like to one day, because as far as I'm concerned, of like regularly available LCBO IPAs, that's my go-to.
Greg, with GLB, what do they charge for their Imperials? Like they're not in cans, are they? They're mostly 650s.
Yeah, no, they're all in cans. They don't do much
Okay.
of 650s anymore. Most of their stuff is canned, and typically it's between $5 to $6.50 a can, depending on what it is.
Okay.
But if it's he's talking the special Imperial stuff.
Yeah,
like Solstice.
Yeah.
Solstice was
well,
what, 11?
Solstice was $15 a can. Sorry,
A
Solstice
bottle.
was $15 for a 650 milliliter bottle. That was bottled, but there's stuff like Apocalypse Later. I can't remember what was the name. The Imprison IPA or fuck, I can't think of the name of it. But the one that triple IPA they did during Christmas time, that was I think $6.50 a can or something.
The 1105 or whatever it was.
No, 1105. That's the Nickelbrook collaboration. This is
Oh,
It was like my beer of the year last year. I can't think of the name right now, but
Left that much of an impression on you that year. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to look this up, but yeah, I mean they're pretty good prices. I did think the Solstice was overpriced at $15 a bottle, but they sold out of it eventually. So it took them 3 months.
So-
But
So with the bigger sawdust beers, like especially when the can the Bitter Beauty and Twin Pines are about, like they're $5.25. I wasn't sure if that was kind of the going rate for that kind of style or what in the Toronto area.
sorry, you kind of cut out there. Well, what did you say they go for $6.50?
So yeah, so for the Imperial IPAs, like it's in a tall boy, they're about $5.25.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. That's I think right
Yeah.
about where GLB is more or less. I think their RoboHop is about $5 a can or something. So that's probably the most comparable thing to what you're talking
Right.
about.
I think a Modest was kind of in that range as well.
Yeah, I think Modest was. Yeah,
Weren't they $5 at LCO? Yeah.
I think it was five. I thought it was a bit more expensive. I thought it was like $5.50 or $6, but we're within $1 or $2. Yeah, it's the same price.
Right. With Stack, I think it was only like $3.50, $3.75 for their double IPA, which is pretty good. Most of their beers were like high $2 to low $3 range.
On that beer, I'm thinking of his Life Sentence.
Right.
What was the one that used to be? Well, GLB used to have incredibly good deals. Like when the first time they brought out RoboHop, it was like $3 a can for a 9.5% IPA, a double IPA, and then I think the first time they brought out Apocalypse Later was $3.50 a can for a 10% black IPA. In a tall boy. So that was a deal of the century. Now, unfortunately, they've upped their prices on that, but those were some sweet deals back then. But they're still pretty well priced. I mean, anyone that does cans and then doesn't overcharge for them, you can get some pretty good deals. I wish more people would do cans.
See, and in all honesty, the $5+ that Skinny Dipping Stout comes at in a can and Long Dark Voyage Uranus in a can isn't really all that bad because it's basically the same price as the bottle. But people get all worked up because it's in a can and they figure it's going to be cheaper because they have this stigma of a can being cheaper. I mean, cans are cheaper for the brewer and everything else, but you did take a little bit of money off of the can from the bottle because you don't have to pay as much for transportation or the packaging product. But at the same time, it's still a beer that costs a lot of money to make.
That's the thing, is what's the product in the actual can. Although sometimes that can be totally inflated as well, which goes back to the original comment we sort of been answering here, where some of these beer prices seem really inflated for what you're getting.
Well, and then it also comes down to what the brewery does with their space and everything, right? Again, we can go back to the Exchange. The Exchange makes some damn good beer. You drink the beer at the Exchange, and it's priced fine. But you take the beer home, and you're looking at $13 for a regular IPA, or a pale ale, or a wheat. They pay $120 a month per square foot in rent. Well, find somewhere else to put your brewery.
Yeah.
Are they right downtown Niagara?
They're Niagara-on-the-Lake, right downtown.
Okay.
So, huge money
Right.
to be there. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I think the ultimate example is Kuna, and where you go to the brew pub, and their prices are pretty reasonable. They're around $5-6 a pint, depending what you get. That's U.S. pricing, so it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's reasonably priced for what you get. And then you go to their bottles. Most of their stuff they don't release in bottles. When they do have a bottle release, it's usually a 4-pack that'll cost you like $40 US for a 4-pack. Now, granted, they're high ABV beers. Some of them are barrel aged, which is fair enough, but you're still talking about a 4-pack that's costing you $50-60 Canadian, and that's just a little bit ridiculous. When you can go and try all 4 of those beers, get a pint of all 4 of those beers, and it would cost you less money. It would cost you like $30 US or something to just have a pint of them.
Yeah.
Well, Silversmith. I mean, again, like in Ontario at least, it matters a lot on how fancy you want your place to look, and where you are. Silversmith and Osthouse, for instance, both of them. You drink at the bar, prices are great. I mean, a $4.50 fucking pint of Silversmith's Black Lager, I'll do that all day, any day. But a $9 bottle to take home, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
A
that's
$12
ridiculous.
bottle of Saison from Osthouse, again, fuck you guys. But a $5 pint to sit there and drink at the bar, sure. Like it's
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing that kills me though is that Silversmith. I went there and exactly $9 black IP, or sorry, a black lager. No fucking way. But it's like, oh, well, we have a deal. You get a pint of any beer we have on the menu for $8, and you get a free glass to take home. I'm like, done. That's a
Yeah,
great,
that's
a great deal.
That is a great deal.
Yeah. So I
No,
definitely
I
do
mean,
that. But.
like I said, where you are is a lot of the problem. I mean, they're in tourist trap area. Then you have Niagara Brewing Company, which is making cheap beer to begin with, and then selling it for over $3 a can because they're right on Clifton Hill in Niagara Falls, and tourists will pay it.
And their beer is garbage.
See, and that's the thing. That's what I thought
Yes.
completely when I went into it, when I bought those 4 that they can. But when I did my tasting at the brewery, we did all their one-offs, all their seasonals. And those are actually really well made, but you can't get them in cans to take home. You have to drink them there. But they're all
Yeah.
really well made beers, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Can this and sell this to me for $3.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if we canned it, we'd probably sell it for 6 or 7. Oh, wait,
well, yeah.
because you made it good. I got it.
Yeah. Paul Kozlowski has another comment here. Says super hipster brewery Bellwoods charges around $7 to $9 a bottle. As much as I hate the fucking hipster vibe, they make pretty good fucking beer. Yes, they do indeed.
Well, the other thing I'll say is they don't charge $7 to $9 a bottle. They charge from $4.50 for the regular beers. It's about $4.50 to about $7 a bottle. And yeah, what their special releases can go up to about $13 a bottle. But their regular stuff, like Wood Shark, this cost me, I think this was $6 or $6.50 a bottle.
And Wizard Wolf is something like 5.
Yeah, Wizard Wolf last I checked was $4.50 unless they up the price. They're definitely overpriced. I'm not going to say they're not, but for the quality beer you get, I feel the extra $1 or $2 they cost you more than a competing beer is usually worth it. But they are definitely. You know what though? The funny thing is, I went to that Bandit Brewery the other day, which
I know
I'll
this
tell
story.
I'll
Go
tell-
ahead.
well,
Tell the story. I like the story.
Okay, I'll tell this story. But first of all, I went to this place. This place is so hipster. This is definitely like, kids with money making a brewery because this place was so hipster it made Bellwoods look like I don't know, the opposite of hipster, whatever that is. But so I went there, right? They said on their Twitter, hey, we've got an event going on tonight, but the regular hours after 9 o'clock, we're open, bottle shop's open, blah, blah, great. So I did a nice little thing where I hit a bunch of breweries, including Bellwoods. Then I went to Bandit Brewery on the way back. Never tried any of their stuff. Their fridge is stocked with. They only had one kind of beer. It was like a raspberry session ale. So I said to the guy, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take a couple of those. Oh, we can't sell you those. Why not? Well, we had a private event tonight, and they were all reserved. Is the private event still going on? No, it's done. It finished at 9. I was there at like 10:30. Okay, so sell me the beer then. No, we can't do that. It was reserved for the private event.
Fuck.
Okay. And then he goes into this thing, yeah, we didn't have enough beer, we couldn't make enough. I'm like, but the event is over. Why can you not sell me this beer now? And then he tells me, well, sir, if you come back next week, we're going to have this beer and this beer. I'm like, here's the thing. You're refusing to sell me beer that you have in the fridge right in front of me. I'm not coming back next week. You are in.
Yeah.
Not only are you in Toronto, okay? You are literally in an area of Toronto where it's about 5-10 minutes away from Bellwoods, and there's also another 8 to 10 breweries in that area within 10 minutes driving, all of which are really high-end. Burdock's there. What's the other one? Reinhardt is there. They're all with Indie Ale House is there. They're all within a few minutes driving distance. And you're going to fucking give me shitty customer service like that? I won't be back because guess what? I have a lot of choice.
Like I said when we were talking about that, the only thing I could see is if the private event had bought them all. But if the private event is gone already, you would be refunding the SOP to the private eventers and then reselling that beer anyway.
Well, I mean, they would have sold me the beer on tap. It was just the specific bottles they didn't want to sell me, and the guy wasn't. Maybe there was a good reason. The guy there who, well, first of all, the guy looked like he was 17 and reeked of weed. he was not very good at explaining to me why he couldn't sell me his products. So.
Listen, dude, these are like reserved, man. Don't you understand? They're like reserved for the event. The event's over. No, man, but they're like reserved, dude. Come on now. Like, don't be harshing me out here, brother. I'm just trying to do my job, man.
I don't understand though why they would post that. Yeah, hey, we have a private event, but our bottle shop's open. If they're not going to sell anything.
Unless they've erased the tweet. They even had a tweet yesterday. They said after 9 o'clock, bottle shop, regular thing, open. Come on in. Great, so I did. If I made a special trip over, I would have been a lot more pissed off. But I mean, I was sort of already in the area anyway. But yeah, I was like, that was kind of bullshit. And I wasn't the only one. The people right after me came in. They want bottles too.
Sounds like a bunch of douchebags that work there can't get their shit together, and then they put out messages on their social media and shit that they don't fucking clear with everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at this place, I mean, this place exudes money because I mean, it's.
Well, they bought an old beer store.
Well, yeah, it's right beside the beer store because there's a beer store right next to it. I don't know if before the beer store was bigger.
It used to be the beer store's warehouse.
Oh, okay. Because it's huge, and I mean, it's got a huge patio. I mean, it looks beautiful, to be honest, but it looked like they don't even have cement. Everything's like little like decorative rocks that you walk on instead of cement because it's cooler that way, I suppose. And they don't have regular lights. They have like Christmas lights. No, not Christmas lights. But they're like white. I don't know what you call them. Like white, little tiny white LEDs all over the place. Like it's
track lights or something.
Strand lighting.
It's attractive looking, but at the same time, it's just so over the top, and you could just tell somebody was just like, "Oh, here, I got mom and dad wrote me a blank check for this."
So I am now drinking the Collective Arts Goza.
The Goza.
Is that the one that tastes like semen?
Yeah, that's the one you had
Yeah.
in your mouth.
What do you think of that one, Chad?
He's probably chatting with the wife. In all fairness to Collective Arts, first of all, I was pretty drunk at that point. Second of all, there's a high probability that Nick may have actually put something in my glass, and I may have not actually been tasting the beer, but actually I've been tasting the cocktail.
Stealth.
So to be fair to Collective Arts, maybe your beer doesn't taste like semen.
I remember you weren't.
Stealthy jizz.
Greg wasn't the biggest fan of their black IPA, if I recall.
Well, yeah, Greg's not a fan of a lot of black things. Just saying.
That's true. I'm pretty racist.
Well, I am now drinking the Black Angus India Pale Ale.
Nice.
Black anus.
Black Anus, yeah.
I am drinking a Witchwood Firecatcher.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that one. What is that supposed to be, Nick?
Golden blonde. It's like a golden mild ale. It's like 3.5% ABV.
Okay. Oh, another golden ale from Witchwood? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, knock me down and kick me in the fucking ball. Fuck.
It's almost like Nick would like to be showered with these golden ales.
Yeah.
I feel like.
We'll all be having golden showers.
Right.
Hey, Lee, have you had this?
Futurama.
Lee, have you had this Star Trek beer from Garrison's?
Yes, I have. It's terrible.
Yeah, it just showed up at the LCBO. It's just calling it an ale. I wasn't really sure what it was.
Do not buy it. It's essentially their shitty, light-tasting amber ale.
Right.
But it has the Star Trek branding on it.
Okay.
Incredibly fucking disappointing. Their Klingon Warnog, their Vulcan ale, and stuff like that, way better. Like, those were actually, like, real beers with something behind them, but this is just absolute fucking garbage.
Is that the Vulcan ale you're getting, or is that something else?
All it says is Star Trek 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's pretty much Garrison Tall Ship, but not as good.
Oh.
You know what I would love if, Klingons are supposedly this, warlike race, and they drink and they fight and they fuck and all that. They should have just had a Klingon ale that literally was they just put in like some Isla Scotch in there.
Yeah, really.
I told you,
I mean-
and then maybe they carbonated it so it looked like beer, and then just be like, yeah, this is Klingon beer. Oh God. I'm drunk
Even
at
if they,
6.
that would be the ideal for me. Like, so their big thing for the Klingons is their blood wine or whatever, right?
No.
So So what I'd be looking at is I'd be looking at trying to get my beer into 2 separate barrels. I'd be trying to get it in Isla barrels, and I'd be trying to get it in some fucking fortified wine barrels, something along those sherry casks or something like that. So you'd be getting some wine character, but then you'd be getting that big fucking smoky punch as well.
You know what you would be doing? You'd be barrel aging some chiladas.
Yeah, are you back?
Then
Are you,
it would be an actual blood wine. You know, it would be red and syrupy. And
No, no.
Are you back, Chad?
I'm back.
Oh well.
What
fuck.
if you were to what if you were to barrel age the beer, but you barrel age it in a coffin that has a corpse in it?
Yeah.
That would give you some interesting flavors.
Necro beer. No, you can find other ways. You have to don't have to do this colada bullshit. You can find other ways to have your beer a red tinge to it. Just play around the malts a bit, or
just food coloring.
Well, you could do that, but like if you're honest, try to get like some really wet sherry casks. Even that might even color your beer up nice.
Sherry cask and a Munich malt.
Yeah, here you go. Good call there, Nick.
Chad, were you getting yelled at by the wife?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, he's getting yelled at again.
You probably gave him a list of all the baby names we came up with in our chat. Somehow, I don't think Anheuser and Amstel are good names.
Oh, well.
Oh, actually, I shared that chat with Agnes, and I didn't read the whole thing, so maybe this was already mentioned, but did anyone think about maybe calling the kid Adolf?
Adolf.
And if it's a girl, Adolf Nita.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Adolpha is the female version.
Adolpha, there you go.
Fuck you, Adolf Nita.
There you go, Chad. I just come up with, well, actually, technically, Agnes has come up with the name for your next child, so she could be the godmother.
Yeah, exactly. And Adolf is a name we really need to bring back. I mean, we really need to take it back.
Yes.
It's been far too long since that name has been besmirched by Mr. Hitler.
That and Osama and Saddam.
Exactly. We need to take all these names back. Genghis Khan. We need to start calling more kids Genghis.
Also, us white people need to take back the N-word.
We do. We very much do. We need to start naming our pets Nigger Man again, like they used to back in the 1920s.
Oh, Jesus.
We really need to do that. We really need to bring it back. We really need to know that it's socially acceptable again to name your black cat Nigger Man.
Let's have the word gay again, not meaning gay.
Yeah, it needs to go back to its roots where you're just happy.
Hey, you don't even have to go back that far. I remember my buddy in grade school, which is going back, I don't know, 15 years or so, because I'm old. He named his cat the N-word, and his mom, who didn't speak English very well, would just go right off the veranda and call the cat, and it was quite funny.
Oh God. Oh.
And yes, I know I've told that story before. Don't get mad.
I never heard it before, so
Oh, there we go.
It's all cool with me, brother.
Chad always gets upset with me when I repeat myself. Like, did any of you guys hear that the guy who replaced vodka with water at the LCBO?
I never heard that one either. Chad's really touchy about these things. It's just terrible.
Oh, well. You get into his basement, then he gets really touchy.
Oh, I already know that. Unfortunately. Gotcha.
Really.
Dark.
Yeah, his anus still hurts.
Deep, dark secrets.
Right back, guys.
And those of you wonder why I don't want to sleep over at his place.
Essentially, if Chad stuck his fingers up your asshole, that's akin to having your asshole bleached. That's how white this man is.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there. So, hey, Chad, how you doing, brother?
I think we've offended him.
After that.
I think I might have offended him. Oh my God.
Maybe the internet cafe is running again.
Maybe.
That's a good excuse to get another beer. BRB.
Yeah.
So did we ever figure out where Joe's been since May?
He put a little message in the BDU chat that we have on Facebook. He has been busy basically working different shifts and just sort of pursuing other hobbies and relaxing and shit. He just sort of gotten out of the beer
In other
talk
words,
kind of
he
thing.
doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't give a fuck! It's not because anyone offended him or he's pissed off. He's just taking a break from the shit, and I got other shit going on in my life. Probably getting him some pussy as well. That's probably on the side there somewhere. So more power to him.
Living the dream.
His quotes have changed. He's no longer aliens. It's no longer game over, man. It's drop your linen and stop your grinning, or
Just drop your linens and start grinnins.
or stop your grinning and drop your linen. I got it wrong. I'm a little. I've had some Knob Creek bourbon before I started into the beer, so I'm a little.
I figured it had something to do with knob.
Yeah, I'm a little toasty. So there you go. Stop your grinning and drop your linen. There we go. Game over, man. We're all fucking dead. Game over, man.
Go all Bill Paxton on this.
Mm. Okay, this says we have 11 people fucking watching right now. Can someone give us some fucking comments? And hey, guess what? For once in the last few weeks, we have no downvotes as well. Amazing.
Really?
Yeah. We have 6 upvotes and no downvotes, so our usual hater crowd have not been voting us down. And maybe they got the fucking clue that it doesn't fucking matter.
Probably because Brandon finally got on.
That's it. Everyone wants to want it.
That's it.
Brandon and all of his fucking
We let him in
soccer
this
accounts.
time, so he's not upset anymore.
Yeah.
It's all this guy.
Brandon has ASMR voice.
Yeah, this is Radar, by the way. Brandon, the guy with the Zardoz.
Yep. How's it going?
I met you. I think I met you there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was pretty fucked up, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You remember, you were like 2 foot taller than him.
Yeah.
So
You were 2 foot taller than the rest of us too, but
I have one night a week that I want to do something. And that's the time she has to sit down here and bitch at me.
Well, yeah. She's a woman. That's what she has to do.
Yep.
Oh, you're doing something? I'm going to sit back here and nag in your ear.
Just tell her you're on an all man-on-man chat about boners at Asian restaurants.
Well, I told her I have to get back there because they're talking about me sticking my fingers in their ass, and it's live, and I have to stop this conversation.
No. No, that's totally wrong.
I had the headset on still when that started.
No, you should just tell her that she should go back to stewing that baby in her belly and shut the fuck up, and you get back to your chat.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over well.
Listen, woman, I am man. I will talk on chat. You will go back upstairs.
I was at work last night, and there was an EO, and I'm like, hey, I want to take the EO. And they're like, are you able to? And I'm like, I'm the man of the house. And they all just started laughing at me.
And
Okay,
talk
I probably
about a
shouldn't
man.
speaking of man in the house, welcome, Ewart.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
You were.
Share his
can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, and you're past your bedtime. What are you drinking, sir?
See your beautiful face.
I'm getting started a little late tonight. I've been having a Boulevard's Calling IPA.
Boulevard.
Courtesy of Aaron, it's about 3 months old. IPA.
Drain 4.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, yours is only 3 months old. Mine was brewed in February.
Jesus.
Well, that's what he estimated, 3 months. But
This is the first time I've heard of like a 3-month-old IPA getting anywhere to any of us. Like, that's uncalled. It's unheard of. It's just
That,
really terrible.
that's right in its wheelhouse. That's when it's best. 3 months. So people know what
Okay.
they're doing.
Okay.
So, did you ever have anything from the Florida Beer Company while you were in Florida there, Ewart?
Florida Beer Company, never heard of it.
No? Okay, well, they were just sold to a Caribbean conglomerate. They were sold to the guys that make Carib lager.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, Caribe.
Is there sold to Carib? Carib
Yep.
shouldn't be buying anything.
So are you saying our friend Marvin now owns it?
Yeah, man.
Mom.
Do it.
Yeah, the whole concept is laughable. That anybody was bought by Carib, and of course it's something I've never heard of. That's like Walkerville being bought by Carib. That makes sense. So, anyway. Yeah, when I was in Florida, I drank primarily Cigar City, and Cycle. That's the only other brewery I really drank when I was there.
I thought you were going to say Cigar City and Cigar City and some Cigar City. That's what
Yeah,
I
I mean that was the obvious answer, but I did have something else. So.
Hey, Maine Beer Company is doing a major expansion in Freeport.
Ooh. Cool.
They want to quadruple the size of its production facility.
Quadruple.
That's 4 times bigger, guys.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting because Maine Beer Companies, you can find those beers in Alberta, of all places. So, I mean,
It's Alberta.
they get stuff, I guess, but
They get stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they make some good IPAs. I wouldn't call them anything crazy. Some people think that a few of them are exceptional, but
Devin says Rhino had to leave to catch a Zubat in his kitchen.
Oh yeah, that's important.
And he says Joe's been gone because he's pursuing Pokemon Go.
I don't play Pokemon Go, and I never will.
No, he said
Oh,
Joe.
me
He
neither.
said Joe. Get it right, dude. He said Joe is gone because he's pursuing
Not all of
Pokemon
you.
Go.
Well, I thought, isn't that what a Zubat is? Isn't it a Pokemon?
yeah.
It's a Pokemon Go, yeah.
I don't
What is it?
know. I don't know these things. All I know is that you both are probably pursuing Squirtles, and
All I know is there are people at work that leave the gaming floor to go and catch Pokemon in the basement.
Yeah.
And I stand there and want to throttle them.
I am thankful that I've yet to see any motherfuckers walking around their goddamn cell phones trying to catch Pokemons.
I was at a sub a couple of days ago and I saw a group of 20 of them.
I feel like I'm some untouched oasis in the zombie apocalypse at this point. Like, the zombies haven't shown up here yet.
You said that 2 weeks ago.
My place of work, and Vince has been there, Radar's been there. There are 4 Pokestops at my place of work, so there is a lot of Pokemon playing going on.
Oh, wait, here's a question. Brimstone, are they officially called a Pokemon gym? Because, like, from what I heard, like, churches and stuff were, like, considered gyms or whatever on the fucking Google Maps. So,
I don't know.
So even if it's... there was this story of this guy who bought an old church and renovated it for his house. And then people were showing up on his fucking lawn because it was a training gym for Pokemon.
Yeah, and if that was in the U.S., they're lucky they didn't get shot.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of be interesting to ask Brimstone if like a bunch of people have been showing up on their fucking lawn trying to catch Pokemons and train them and shit.
I mean, I hate to say that I actually know how this works, but gyms can be anything. It just so happens that some of them have been churches.
Ah, okay.
So,
As like a major Pokestop was, I think, the Holocaust Museum at Auschwitz.
Yeah, that and one of the Pokemons is like a gassing Pokemon. He had a gas attack or something like that. That's a little low class. That's a little low class.
I know.
If that's the true story,
That
that's
was in the news, actually. I think that was true.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I don't think they consciously go out and do stuff like this. It's all programmed based on the type of landmark it is. There are going to be some random associated things. They're going to be centralized in certain areas, and
I mean, there've been fake stories, and then there was a story of the girl who found a dead body under a bridge, and then there was there's been stories of people like being lured by thieves, like,
Yeah.
oh, come get a Pokemon at this spot, we'll fucking jump you and beat the fuck out of you and steal all your shit.
There was one guy in, I think a Chinese guy or an Asian guy who ended up
how
in
are we
Compton and
talking
got
about
shot 6
Pokemon?
times.
You know what? Fuck you guys. We're going back to beer. Fuck Pokemon Go.
This is Pokemon Go. It's an
No. But hold on.
Poke beer.
Here's the bridge. Chad, to get you back to beer, because I do follow a bunch of breweries on Instagram and places like that, and they like, oh look, we have Charmander, or there's been a sighting in our brewery, so they're promoting their brewery through Pokemon Go.
Well, yeah,
We have a
can
stop.
pay. You can go into the thing and pay to have a lure put at your place, and then Pokemon show up at your place.
Exactly. Well, actually, you don't even need that. You can earn lures if you play the game, and you can just put one on. If you have a stop at your place, you throw in there, and everybody will show up.
And finally,
Now-
I'm fucking have a social life and actually drink a beer for once.
Paul Kozdowski asks this question, and I know I've had it, and you probably had it. And is High Ally IPA from Cigar City really one of the best IPAs in the States right now? It is one of the best that I've had personally, but I haven't had like all the ones you have.
I would say, High Ally, when you're in Florida, there's something different. When you're in Florida and you're sitting on a beach or a sunny, High Ally tastes amazing. When you're having it, like, there's something about it. And also, you get it at state lines, and also it doesn't taste as good. I don't know what it is.
Well,
but it's
it's
very
like,
good.
See,
would have it-
for
I
me
would
though,
love
I
to have
haven't
it regularly.
had like Pliny the Elder. I haven't had anything from Hill Farmstead or anything like that. I think my top 3 from the U.S. would probably be Zombie Dust, High Ally, and Alchemist.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a girl at my work who is Brazilian. She got me some beers from Brazil, and frankly, they were pretty bad beers. But she told me, she's like, you have to drink them in context. You have to imagine you're drinking this beer, you're on a beach, and you're surrounded by hookers that pretty much you give them $10 and they'll do anything you want to you. So, and I'm like,
Context is important for sure.
Yeah, and then what's this girl's ass look like?
it's not bad. It's not bad. It's nice.
Okay, so
Brazilian
the
ass.
privatization of alcohol sales concerns LCBO employees. Local LCBO employees are taking a stand against the Wynne government's privatization of alcohol sales. By expanding the sales to grocery stores across the province, members of the Ontario Public Service Employees Union, OPSU, are concerned of the increased availability of alcohol will lead to an increase in health problems as well as motor vehicle collisions. Local 164 President Jen Van Zetter says the situation is a public safety issue. The members are saying that they want to stop the expansion of... Fuck, 1 second.
It's not really a public safety issue unless things actually happen that are bad in the public.
Yeah.
Then
So
what
anyway, Lee, she's a bit of a bigger girl. So yeah, she's got a nice big Brazilian ass.
Nice, good
And
stuff.
I happen to know she Brazilians that ass, and Brazilians the upfront area too.
Ooh, nice. And
They're very honest in that country.
yeah, and then Devin adds a little addendum to our Pokemon conversation, saying, Inoshinte is a Pokemon gym for real. People come here for a few glasses just to battle. I don't have the game or know how it works, so I can't help out the panel.
All I gotta say is, Devin, I miss you, buddy. I love you. That's all.
Oh no, Lee left.
Oh.
Well, there was like
Soon
some
as-
rare Pokemon showed up in Toronto like a couple weekends ago, and there were like
apparently,
apparently
I don't want to talk about this. I don't.
apparently like
I don't
100
care.
people
I don't
showed up.
fucking care, man. I don't.
You do
fucking
care.
No one cares.
You do
No,
care.
I don't. I do have the game, but I have it because me and my son, we run around the neighborhood catching ratatatas and pidgeys, and that's all we do. So.
Hey, my work consists of almost all females, and
Holy fuck, you're back on Pokemon. Shut the fuck up.
we're talking about Pokemon.
Also,
And a lot of them are quite hot. A lot of them play the game, so I'm like, hey, what's going on here? That being said, I don't play it.
wait a second. I see Lee's avatar. Who's the Burt Reynolds in the mankini there? What is that?
That's Zardoz. Well,
That's
actually,
Sean Connery.
that's
It's
Sean
Sean
Connery. As Zed in
Zardoz.
Zardoz.
It's radar. It's being radar.
I see. I didn't see the ponytail. I just saw the mustache, and because the avatar is small on my eyes.
Jeez, don't you listen to
Burt
Lee's
Reynolds.
podcast? He covered
but-
this. He covered this movie.
I did.
Really?
Oh yes, I listen to everyone. I
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to everyone at length.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
sure you
listening to-
do. Sure you do.
Well, when you review shit that I've seen or I'm mildly interested in, then I will watch. But
Well, what are you interested in?
I'm like Chad 9976. Chad 9976 once wisely said, like, I'm not going to watch a beer review of a beer I can't get. I'm not going to watch a video podcast of a movie I'm not going to see or I can't see. So,
Well,
anyway, back to the story that was at hand. The president of
What
the
story was
Local
that?
162 OPSU chamber was, the members are saying that we want to stop the expansion of wine, beer, and cider in the grocery stores. We want to support public service as well as the safety of our community.
So they're encouraging temperance again. So we want to get back to temperance, which I'm all for, and because that's what the LCBO was founded on. Then we should get rid of all the promotion of alcohol sales and everything else like the LCBO does, so we can slash that from their budget by millions of dollars a year, and jobs, because that's all it really comes down to is jobs.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Ultimately,
It's all jobs. Stop your fucking propaganda, fear-mongering, lying, and just say we're worried that we're going to lose jobs. Even though Quebec has a private system and a public system and hasn't lost jobs, even though Alberta has a private system, Nova Scotia has some private shops yet, hasn't cost jobs there. BC is apparently both public and private. They haven't really lost any jobs. It hasn't gone anywhere else in the country, but in Ontario, you're all going to lose your jobs. But you're not worried about the 400 private fucking beer stores. You're worried about the 60 grocery stores.
yeah. I mean, they're obviously worried about the long term, and that's understandable because the writing is on the wall. As soon as you add in even the LCBO shipments and sales, it's basically saying brick and mortar stores are a thing of the past, and they're just prepping themselves for further negotiations because they're going to basically downsize the LCBO because of the whole big when you're talking about pension plans and everything else like that. That's a huge stuff.
Whoa.
Where are we in Thailand here with the scooters? But the
yeah, pretty much.
when you're talking about like this aging workforce, they don't want to hire anybody else, and they're going to have to talk about 2-tier wages, which is an ugly conversation to have. So they're looking at downsizing the labor force. So by getting into all these other avenues, they're basically going to be what's the opposite? Not expanding. What's the opposite of expanding? Contracting. LCBO outlets, I believe. That's just my Karnak sort of vision in the next 5-10 years. You're going to be contracting some of these places.
You turn this into an intelligent conversation. You were get out.
Bye. Bye.
It's true that at some point things are going to happen, but it's not going to be like everybody's losing their jobs and that's it.
No,
I think it's going to be a lot like the Canada Post, where it's going to be planned obsolescence. Basically, they'll cut jobs, but it'll be jobs that are not really being lost. It's jobs that are being cut as the people retire.
Exactly. They're just they're not backfill. They're not going to backfill. That's all.
Well, and from what I understand, I don't know the exact numbers, but from what I understand, the LCBO makes, like, their employees make pretty good money, like a lot more money than you get typically working at like a retail outlet or something else.
Very good money, yes, and they have government benefits.
So my whole thing I would assume would be like kind of like the planned obsolescence or whatever, but maybe just if they had more competition and if they couldn't afford to pay their employees as much, then maybe just newer employees coming in would start making.
Well, that's the 2-tier pay he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue with Canada Post now, right? Is that their new employees are making less or something?
Yep. And that's the way of the future for the most part, because a lot of these agencies are realizing, hey, we signed up for what sounded like a great idea at the time, but these people are working a lot longer than we had planned, and these inflation rates and all these other things are expanding. So we're like, oh shit. Well, we're not. The revenue isn't quite keeping up with the rates that we have to pay these people when they retire. We just can't afford to do what we signed up to do. And it's a problem. Like, a lot of huge companies are facing that. GM's faced that. All the big three have faced that, where they can't pay
because they
retirees
didn't expect
and all that stuff.
They didn't expect all their retired employees to live as long as they have.
Yeah,
that's part of it. Or retire as late as they have, or live as long as they have. or all that stuff. It was very short-sighted visions where they signed up for this stuff. Now they're looking at, okay, how do we get out of this? And whoever started two-tier wage agreements set the tone probably 15, 20 years ago, and now all the big three have done it, and now it's expanding into the public sector, and they don't like it, and they shouldn't like it, but that's just the way of life. And hopefully people are smart enough, and hopefully people are learning something in schools nowadays where they can actually make a better plan for the future, as opposed to walking into high school being entitled to a job that's going to give them all these sorts of things. So that is not a reality.
That's the thing at my job too, is there's a good deal of the workforce now that is hitting their late 50s, early 60s, and they're all going to start retiring with their government pensions, and it's not going to be pretty when the new people come on.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised that if there's some parts of the public sector, not 5 to 10 years from now, maybe a little later from now, where they're like, we're almost, they're having a hard time paying debts and having a hard time paying this stuff, where there's going to be some rationalization at the, provincial and federal levels. We're like, we can't pay this bill. We're going to have to almost cut things to the point of revolt, because it's going to cripple the economy unless we want to raise taxes by 15% across the globe, because they can't pay for all these people. Sorry to be such a downer, guys.
Well, we're used to that with you, Ewart.
They're calling me Ewart Raven.
We have a couple comments. First, a comment from Devin, who now makes me want to not drink Propeller ever again. He says Propeller put out a Pokemon Pilsner, apparently.
Oh God!
Just one of their one-offs that you can only get at bars and shit, or at the brewery. But fuck you guys, fuck fucking Propeller. I'm almost set in stone now. I don't want to buy your beer anymore.
I'm going to be drinking an uncommon element. Go ahead.
Stimster says, apparently, that's a great comment. Thank you, sir. Cam Haynes says, has anyone tried beers from Lancaster Brewing Company in Rigaud, Quebec?
Yep.
I think I have.
I've never had anything.
Yakima IPA amongst a few others. St. Catherine, I think it's called. Very good rum barrel. I think it was a rum barrel aged or barrel. It was a barrel aged stout. Anyway, it's very good.
Winter is coming left.
1 second, guys. My wife just got home. She's the one that called me. I gotta go get yelled at again.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Hey guys, want to see what's in the fridge?
Yeah, let's see what's in the fridge today, guys. Let's see what's in the fridge, guys.
Let's see. I got pots flinging out here in the garage, guys.
Just tell me, Ewart, how many subs have you bought? How many thousands of subs have you bought in your channel, but guys? Holy shit, Ewart! Your fucking fridge looks.
I don't even know.
Your fridge looks way better than fucking Greg's. I'm gonna say right now.
And it's all under 3 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Everything's over 3 months when it comes to IPAs. That's the way I like them.
Wait,
That's the
I
nice way to drink them.
Wait, I want to know more about that watermelon.
Yeah. Well, what's going on there?
Watermelon. How I actually French press it into all my IPAs.
You French press watermelon into his IPAs. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love it. Is this not enough watermelon in my IPAs?
No, they say there's melon in here. I ain't getting no melon. It's like
no melon.
Coconut. It ain't there.
No melon, boys. It's coconut.
You cannot French press a coconut though. French pressing a coconut does not work.
Oh really?
Oh my! Look at this. See, this is the guest beer. That's the guest beer shelf right there. That's what I have. And then I have what else we got here? I got some hoof-hearted stuff. Oh, actually, you guys want to see a fun label? Want to see a fun label? Look at this thing.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a label of a beer can.
Could you just hold that there so I can jack off?
That's crazy.
That's great.
Actually, hold on. I have another one. From those guys. That's pretty good. Maybe.
I see you got a Jelly King there.
Yes, I got a Jelly King actually, courtesy of Sean Brantford. So yeah, we're supposed to drink this after the Michigan Summer Beer Fest, but we were all way too drunk and passed out before we got.
Oh, that's the plum one. I've yet to try any of their Jelly Kings. I never make it out when they have them.
Yeah, it's a plum one. Yeah. Yeah. I also got something at the LCBO recently. I got this too. I got this one from. I bought a Wellington beer. I thought I'd never buy another one, but it's got.
Is that the brown ale?
It's the black currant kettle sour.
Oh, I hate you right now. I actually wanted to get that.
LCBO, go get it.
No, it was on the online site the first day it came out, and then it was gone when I went to buy my stuff.
There'll be more, Chad. Don't worry.
There's this one too from that was at the LCBO, the Wild Beer Company, which is it's from the UK somewhere or Scotland or something.
Yeah, that's not at my LCBO, nor was it on the online site.
We do have a comment. Paul Kozlowski says,
Couch.
from what I understand, that piece of shit Catherine Wynne has a lot to do with this fucking bitch. That's right, she should be assassinated. Just saying that again, putting a note there.
She's a terrible lesbian.
Who? Yeah. I have no comment.
A lot to do with what's going on isn't really her fault as much as the last 60 years of stuff. I mean, yeah, she has a lot to do with the energy problem we're in and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes down to your pensions and everything, she tried to fuck you, but it got stopped. But you're still gonna get fucked because the government isn't gonna have enough money to pay them all.
Hey, listen, she's just like Hillary Clinton. She's part of the establishment, and she should be destroyed.
She should be put in prison, in a male prison, so she's forced to suck a dick for once.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Terrible guy. Fucking
remember that time we had women in the beer industry on this chat? That's never going to happen again.
How far are we falling?
All thanks to Greg.
Yeah, we had Crazy, Crazier, and Party Girl. Yeah. Erica was the party girl.
Hey, so the last beer article I had was New Brunswick liquor beer sales is down 600,000 in the first quarter since
no.
Yeah.
But they also.
Yeah, but how much is that actually affected by that judge's ruling? I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. That ruling wasn't that long ago.
It doesn't matter though, because in all honesty, they're trying to make it sound like beer sales is down $600,000 in first quarter. So, oh my God, put the rules back up. But spirits and wines have gone up 1.1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if only New Brunswick had a selection of lagers and light lagers that they could implement, then it might save the entire thing.
You mean if the government came in with their own line of beer?
Yeah, and they had Moosehead, stealthily brew them.
Make Moosehead could make it for them.
Yeah, it just might work, guys.
I don't hear the beer companies complaining because it's just going to. It's not affecting their sales at all. In fact, it's probably even increasing it because people are running over to Quebec to buy more than they could before. So, hey, sales are up, baby.
Yep.
One thing I noticed is they're actually coming in with campaigns like they're starting to do like big sales on like cheaper macro beer, right? Like buying in large cases. It's a lot cheaper than it used to be. Like I can't remember the exact prices on like a 2-4 or something, but I know it's like probably like $5 off of what it was.
I think I saw
like 24 cans is like $33 now.
Ooh.
Yeah. $33. I bought like 6 things at the LCBO for $33. Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a 24 pack. I mean, considering like a couple months ago, it was selling for like 42, 45.
My box was 16 beers for $65, and that's with the $13.76 delivery charge, because they give you $1.76 in taxes.
How much? 60 something?
65.
Yeah, that's actually going to be cheaper than when I buy one bottle of Kuhnen's barrel-aged raspberry Eisbach for in a couple months.
Greg sent me a link to that stuff. He's like, did these beers go against what you'd spend on a beer? I'm like, fucking right, they do.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do. I have, yeah, it's absolutely obscene. I don't plan on buying for personal consumption. I merely bought a ticket because I know I have friends who who probably want that. So basically, I'll mule it for them if they want it. So I make sure I got a ticket for it. But I'm going to the anniversary party just so I can taste it at least.
Yeah, like that's all you need to do really is taste it, especially when the tasting is a lot less money than the bottle itself.
Yeah, it's for $40. We got you get 12 tokens, and they have like vintages of like 2007 raspberry Eisbach upwards of right now amongst all their barley wines. It's gonna be madness, man, absolute madness. So, I mean, the highest gravity little tasting and fest I probably ever attended. Anyways, this I'm actually drinking now a Collective Arts. That's what they're called, Hefeweizen. And I'm not really a big Hef fan.
I didn't actually mind that. That was kind of nice.
You know, it is actually pretty nice, and I don't like Hefs, and I'm like, it's late. I just want something I can just have as a dessert and go off to bed here shortly. But
there's a lot of banana in it.
Really tasty. Yes, it basically it reminds me of like those little sponge banana candies.
Yes.
Gross.
Basically, liquid form of that. It's gross unless you like that stuff.
No, it's gross. It's just flat fucking gross.
You know, when you think about it, I would, when you think of Ryan Moreau, I would think he would be fucking burnt out by now. You know, he runs Bush Pilot Brewing, which is his. He's the head brewer for both. He's the brewmaster for both Nickelbrook and Collective Arts, and he does that Nordic Brewing Company, whoever those guys are, the ones that come over and they do that Ice Bock and stuff. He's their brewmaster as well, so he's running 4 breweries.
Isn't that Bush Pilot? That's Bush Pilot.
Then there's another one. He has 4. He has one that is his, and one that is somebody else's. That are both contracted.
Well, I mean, Nickelbrook does put out quite a few beers. Collective Arts, I wouldn't say does a ton of beer. It seems like they're putting out more now. But I mean, there's a lot of guys like. Okay. I'm not to toot craft heads horn or anything. They have 30 different beers on tap of their own right now. 30.
Holy shit!
So
do they can or bottle at all, or is it just growlers?
No, it's just growlers and on tap.
That's pretty much most of Windsor, isn't?
Well, actually, you know what? Tomorrow, Walkerville is canning their IPA. It's called Geronimo. Actually, the very first version of their IPA was called Indie Pale Ale. It was actually really, really good, and they toned it way down, and they called it Geronimo. It's just, I don't know. I may get some just to see what it's like in cans, but yeah, Craft Heads is all only just draft only. There's also the other guys brew who do some stuff in bottles, but even the bottles are basically growler fills because they're flip tops. Motorburger does bottles, and actually I just had they put a lot of stuff too, right? I've had a lot of different things from them, and I just went in there the other day and I had 4 different new beers that I haven't tried from them. One was a session ale, one was a East Coast style IPA, and it was turbid as shit. Like you could not see through it. It was like basically like a yellow like swatch from like the paint company. And then there was like they did a triple and a saison. So they're doing all kinds of other stuff on top of the regular.
Nice.
So there's a little scene going on here. Just they're so small that and then there's Frank, who does boring ass shit in stubbies, but the stubbies are cool. So
what does Frank do? I've actually wanted to try them just because the name is just Frank. Is it just like cream meals and stuff?
There's an oatmeal stout that I actually like, that I've had on tap at a couple places in town. They do like your Scotch ales, your cream ales, your pale ales, your IPAs. Nothing crazy, but their oatmeal stout's passable, and I would drink it if I had nothing else to drink. So
I saw a new brewery supposed to be opening up in LaSalle very soon too.
Yes, it's called Ovinshaw's. It is open. It's there used to be a Roadhouse. Michigan. Used to be called Michigan Roadhouse. Is like a place, like a local burger joint that was very popular because for $8 you get a gigantic burger and fries, and then you drink all the old Vienna you want on tap. So that was very popular for years, and now these 2 guys have taken over and they're brewing stuff. It's called O'Vinshaw's. I don't know what the fuck that name means, but it's weird. And I haven't been yet.
You're weird, York.
I am. Actually, LaSalle's a very untapped market. We're a small town, but man, there's enough new money in this town that we could actually put at a good place. It's just finding the right people to run it, and
Excuse me.
So, because we're like right on the water. There's a lot of waterfront locations we could have, like right on the river, doing awesome shit. But it's just
So if people get too drunk and they get in their car goes in the river instead of into somebody's house.
Fuck, you pull up in a boat.
Ideal
Man.
situation.
That's the way it used to be done.
Yeah,
along
well,
the river here.
Baysville in Ontario, Ontario, that's what it is. It's basically one road into town, and then there's the two piers. So all their business is during the summer from people coming up in the boats.
Exactly. When I worked in Amherstburg, I used to be a cook at a restaurant. We had like a dock that in the summertime, like we'd have like 50 boats in our docks. They'd all come into the restaurant. I mean, it was just. And we had a beer store right across the street from us. So they either show up, fill up with gas, go get their things, go get a bite to eat, and then take off their case of beer. Man, it's like a fucking gold mine for years. But you know how laws are now, so it's kind of taking away that sort of aspect of it.
Now,
Damn laws.
Have either of you done an LCBO order yet? Like an online order?
I looked at it. I just thought there's too many things that either I wanted to have, but couldn't. They were not available for online stuff, or that I wanted and I had to buy a minimum of 12 or 24, which I'm like, no.
Ooh, yeah, there was a few that were 20. They say you can order one, and then you go to your checkout, and there's 24. That actually bothered me.
Yeah, those are the ones from Keep Six.
Yeah, and there was a couple. Sorry, there was a couple from Belgium too and stuff.
Yeah, those are still from Keep Six. That's all the Keep Six stuff. Where you have
and then,
and I've done that. I've ordered stuff from them, but it took me 4 weeks to get it. That was the Stillwater Goes the Gun Wild. That took like 4 weeks to get it to me.
Well, this way it should take you 1 day. It actually literally took a day. I ordered at 11:20 a.m. It shipped at 12:40, and I had it less than 24 hours after it shipped because I had it at 7:50 a.m.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I had to even pick mine up at the LCBO. I didn't even have to. I couldn't even get it at my door. Not like I could anyways.
Well, that's why it took so long because the inner store transfers take weeks. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I was only asking you because I got my package and I opened it up and I'm looking at the receipt and I didn't actually read the receipt when I did my unboxing. But right on the receipt it says signing for this from our third party courier says that you have checked the contents to be full and undamaged. And I'm sitting there like, well, no. Canada Post just drops it off and runs. They don't stay for me to make sure nothing's broken.
Mm-hmm. Good to know for future.
Yeah, so they're basically saying in the paperwork that once I sign it, I have basically taken all responsibility off of them for that package being proper. So what I want to do, and what I'm probably going to do next time I order something, is I'm going to record on my old phone and call their hotline on my actual cell phone and have it on speaker and tell them something's damaged to see what they say. Nothing will be damaged. I won't send anything back, but I want to see if they tell me that it's my fault because I should have checked it first, or if they say, okay, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. Because based on how they're packaging it, I'm assuming there's going to be a breakage here or there.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen because it's just in a box with packing peanuts.
Yeah.
Hey,
I've
had shit break just shipping it store to store, so I mean, I'm sure shipping it to your house will break some shit at some point.
But I've also seen beer bottles go across the country in socks and garbage bags, so
yeah. I still can't believe that Chris was able to get a package to me from Alberta in a bubble mailer with work socks.
I'll never forget it, man. That's the fucking crazy shit I've ever seen.
See, I guess the thing for me is, again, I live in Toronto. It's a beer wasteland, but I can walk into almost any LCBO and find enough interesting stuff to buy. So,
Well, that's the
I
thing. Like, there is a lot of things that I wish that they had on there, and I think the only trouble I have with the entire service is they don't put enough inventory to availability.
well, hopefully that'll change, and hopefully they'll be, available. Because I completely understand, like, you're up in Niagara, which is not Toronto, and you don't drive, so I understand you don't have access to as much stuff as I do. So I completely understand. But for me, I don't see myself ever using this service unless there's something I really, really want that's only available in some other, some other area
Well,
of the
yeah, like
province or
the
something.
the Lake of the Woods beers. When it first went up, all their beers were available, and then when I actually was able to order something, it was only the blueberry. But I want to try all those things that are out in the middle of nowheres. Like.
Well, like Stack Brewing from Windsor.
Yeah, well, I said I think it's Windsor or Sudbury. I do believe I said that. Did I not?
No, you said Windsor or Sarnia, which is like
Sarnia,
the same
yeah.
place.
Sorry.
Oh shit, that was Ord. I thought Stephen Ord showed up. Oh damn.
What? Hello? Hello? Hello?
You're,
bad.
we can't see you. Can you get a little closer, please?
Too bad the little pussy said he was gonna show up and then he didn't show up.
What?
Oh, sad.
You guys hear me? You guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God, it's a hairy 70s
What?
vagina. Just hold it there, Ewart. I'm almost done.
Wow,
Hey,
you're fast.
has anybody has anybody ever seen any of that? Was it that Turtle Island? Chad, have you ever seen those guys show up anywhere?
Yeah, they were at a beer festival that me and Joe were at. They disbanded too. They dissolved. They're another contract.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering. Since I heard you guys go there, have I heard anything from them? So they disbanded, really?
Yeah, they disbanded earlier this year, just like Garden Brewers just did.
Yeah.
Did Garden Brewers say why?
And,
'Cause, I like their products.
Garden Brewers is the same reason a lot of them do now. They're not
Can't
selling
make enough money.
They can't make enough money, and they can't get taps because they don't have a brick and mortar store. So you can't get the people that just come in and buy your beer. You're fighting for taps and you're fighting for shelf space, and there's not enough of either of them.
Well, and the thing is, I've only ever tried their shit at your fest, so I don't even know what else, what they have available where else. But
Yeah, it's just a few bars in Hamilton and the region.
Yeah, I think Garden Brewers mentioned in his thing. He's like, well, being a contract brewer, so if you're a contract brewer, the margins are tiny. So if you're not really turning out product with a plan to go bigger and get your own thing, I guess, yeah, I mean, the people who you're contracting with are going to eat up all your profits. So that's a tough way to go. I mean, Triple Bogey, I don't know if you heard of those guys.
Yeah.
I think they suffer from the same thing, and I've had their beer and it's garbage. And yeah, it's.
I thought their Pilsner was
we
actually
wanna
pretty
go there,
decent for what it was. But
they call it
Have they dissolved yet?
a lager. I don't know.
I know that they actually had a corner on the market because they had an exclusive rights to a lot of golf courses.
Yeah, I played one of those courses on Monday, and like they had a whole like shack, like they had like the big logo on the side. I'm like, all right, let's see what craft beer you got. I saw something like, is that Lake of Bays? I think that Lake of Bays, like, no, it's some sort of craft cider works or something. Like, oh no, I don't want a cider. Fuck it, I'll take this Triple Bogey shit, and it was terrible.
their glasses are pretty cool.
They're like Ace Hill and Lost Craft though. They're all about the branding. They're not about the beer itself. They're all about the branding.
Yeah, and they tapped into a niche market, and I bet you they would be successful with it, but I just don't know how long that'll last because that is very niche, you know.
Almost like a tasting niche.
Almost like a tasting niche. She's very nichey. I am going on to side launch wheat like Radar.
You know what I'm having? I am having a Hendrick's gin and tonic with cucumber in it. Because why the fuck not?
So what does cucumber do for it, sir?
Well, Hendrick's gin and tonic is Hendrick's gin is a cucumber sort
gin.
of flavored gin.
Okay.
So they recommend you add cucumbers to it, and it's not a marketing gimmick. Believe it or not, the cucumbers actually add quite a bit to a gin and tonic.
It is my favorite gin. I remember one day I was at a tasting, and we were doing Hendrick's gin, and the Hendrick's rep was there, and he was talking to one of the bartenders about, and there was 4 porters, 4 of my job description around him. He's like, yeah, you just muddle all this cucumber in, and it makes it even better. And the bartender's like, well, we don't have anyone to muddle. He's like, oh, you get your barbacks to do it, and we're all standing there, and we're like, yeah, we're the barbacks. Oh, okay, maybe you get somebody else to.
Well, that's
But
the
yeah,
thing.
it's a really good gin.
It is. The only thing about the gin is that even though it's like 44%, it's not as strong as most gins, so you got to be a little more careful with. You can't dump too much tonic in, or you'll drown it out. You got to just add a little bit of tonic, and it's great.
So it doesn't have the sort of same medicinal kind of taste that a lot of gins do.
So it has that watery cucumber taste.
Oh, really?
It's a fairly delicate gin. Like you got to be a little bit more careful with how much.
So is there no
is
there no juniper in it at all?
Well, there has to be, otherwise it's not gin.
There is, but it's the cucumber flavor is probably the strongest in it.
Really? Wow.
It's one of those. Well, the thing is, their advertising campaign is basically like it's a unique gin that not everyone likes, and you may not like it, and it's kind of true. Like some people who really like their gin, like more the traditional way, probably won't like Hendrick's, but it's definitely a different kind of gin.
Talking about spirits, how is the Weiser's Torch Toffee?
How is it?
It's toffee-ish. It's toffee-ish.
Well, I only asked because it's actually one of the things I can order from the home delivery, and I'm kind of intrigued by it.
I don't remember the rating I gave
I
it,
haven't
but
had
it's not
it.
terrible. Not terrible.
Oh, did I send that to you, Lee?
Yeah, it's a good liqueur kind of thing.
Here's the only
Good
thing I'm
flavored
gonna say. I'm
whiskey.
gonna say, Chad, is that what does it cost? $25, $30 a bottle.
Yeah, it's
You may wanna
30.
just buy- You may want to just buy a real whiskey instead of liqueur. No offense, Ewart, but like Weiser makes a lot of products.
None taken.
Ewart hasn't even bothered to have it himself, so it can't be that good.
No, but it is from that sort of sub-portfolio from Weiser's of the,
I was thinking it would be in the same type of portfolio as like the hopped whiskey and all that, just the added
not hop whiskey. No, not hop whiskey. That'd be bullshit. Like hop whiskey would still be a legit whiskey. Compared to this is not like a legit whiskey. Really, it's more of a liqueur kind of thing.
So it's more like something like, say, spice.
But it's still
bomb
40.
shit.
It's still at 40% though.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of liqueurs at 40%.
That's true. Very true.
I'm not trying to shit on. I'm just saying it's like
Well, it
it's
sounds
not.
like you are, sir.
Yeah,
Sounds like
well-
you are.
Well, you'll just have to live with that, Ewart. No, but
I don't.
it's one of those things. It's one of those whiskey liqueurs that you can like kind of mix with different things and stuff like that. It's kind of that kind of idea.
Weiser's Apple coming soon, guys.
Yeah, that one I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, not even me neither. So that's it.
Yeah, apple's
I
like
had-
an off flavor. I thought.
I had to have Crown Apple at work one time because they brought it in and they made us taste it, and I was like, yeah, get this away from me and get it away from me now.
Now, if we get Weiser Sriracha, let's just drop that down. Get that in my mouth.
You just drop in your own pepper, man. Garnish. Garnish your whiskey with like a Serrano then versus like a cucumber in your gin, which is garbage. That just
sounds really lazy.
I would do it.
Sounds like you guys should just do a Sriracha whiskey instead of fucking making other people do it themselves.
Yeah,
Well,
jeez.
Okay, you know what? We'll defer to Rogue because they did a Sriracha beer. So let me ask them for their
What I
expert
hear is
opinion
an
on how to
award
do
winner.
an adjuncted liqueur. or
Hey,
spirit.
you know what? I hate pizza because it's the worst pizza I've ever had, but they do have this great new dipping sauce, which is the Sriracha creamy garlic. Oh my god, is it good.
That's the thing about pizza. Pizza is in order to make the pizza palatable, you have to basically dip the pizza. It's not just the crust. You have to dip the whole pizza into it
It's true. You have to do
in
the
order to
whole
make
pizza.
it good. Because it is fucking terrible pizza, but with the dipping sauce, it's okay.
I actually recently made a delivery order for $30 worth of Sriracha and creamy garlic sauce and nothing else.
Guys,
I made their delivery guy come to me for nothing but dipping sauces.
Hey, if it's that fucking good, what the? It's not even funny. It's just it's a necessity.
What?
Hey,
Never mind.
well,
I don't even want to know.
you
Sounds
know
a
what?
little suspect. What the hell is going on in the house? I mean, if I was dropping that off, like, what the fuck is going on in here?
Chad's filling up a little plastic swimming pool of it.
Fucking.
Be great.
Things
if
are
I'm
being
like,
things are being dipped in there that I have no desire to
Wait,
know about.
no, just wait for it on the Albino Rhino beer reviews. It's gonna be the Sriracha wrestling tournament in
You know,
I was
I've
gonna
always
say,
wanted to do this because there's that big park down the road from me.
So much burning.
There's that big park down the road from me, and every year I try to talk people into doing it with me, and I want to make a sumo ring in the snow during the winter,
Jesus
and have us
Christ.
have a sumo tournament in our underwear.
no, come on, it's gonna be a plastic
And-
kiddie pool full of sriracha sauce, and it's gonna be the Honey Monster and the Man-Child fucking wrestling. That's
No, I was
cool.
gonna say for the sumo tournament, make sure it's Simon and Boychuk. No, I'm sorry, it's the Man Tosser. I forgot. That's his new name.
Boy, Chuck's
What?
really breathing hard. That doesn't really signify anything because he's always doing that.
Like, you know what? The thing I'll tell you that impressed me real lately with Canadian whiskey. I didn't have any Canadian whiskey, so I had to get the in-laws to buy me a bunch of duty free. And you were. I'm sorry. I know you guys don't officially make this, but you guys kind of do make this. But holy shit, 40 Creek Copper Pot. That shit is so good for what it costs.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic shit.
We have no association with 40 Creek.
Yeah, I know officially, but
But goddamn, is
That's
it goddamn good?
like I mean.
Oh,
I mean,
it sounds delicious.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My favorite high-end Canadian whiskey is Weiser's stuff. The Weiser's Legacy, Weiser's Red Letter. I haven't tried the Weiser's Last Barrel yet, but I'm sure it's great. But in terms of like,
son of a bitch, you have to get on that.
I have the bottle. I just haven't opened yet. But you know what?
Still, for anyone wondering, there's still 15 bottles of it on the LCBO home delivery.
Yeah. And again, I have no doubt.
And I said I
gave
gave Nick a vial. I haven't seen a whiskey review yet, so fuck that guy. that Matthew Starr as he was.
Hey, now give him some slack. It took me like 2 years to finish all the reviews of the stuff you sent me, so
I reviewed the one that Jamie gave me, and I didn't like the review, so I still have to redo it.
Once I do Crown Royal 100% rye, I'm going to start jumping into Weiser's stuff finally.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get a bottle of that
Excuse
Gooderham and Warts. That's the only one of their small batch I haven't really tried yet.
That's good too.
I mean, Lot 40 is probably my favorite whiskey ever, and Pike Creek I don't care for all that much.
Lot 40 is so good.
It'll be interesting to
Pike
see how
Creek
the
are
Gooderham
actually
is.
changing that. Pike Creek are actually changing it. They're it's supposed
It's
to
gonna be a
finished on
rum barrel
port.
now, right?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. So I'm kind
You
of
know
bummed.
what?
So I stocked up on the port barrel stuff. I bought like 4 bottles of it. So
Well, you know what? Like I
So
said, I
every
didn't love the port. I would probably buy a bottle of the rum barrel stuff just out of curiosity. But my big problem with this is
curiosity get me too.
it's another one of those 40% whiskeys. Like, come on, guys, 45%. Let's do this.
Even saying that, bottom line, about 90% of Canadian whiskeys, the best thing about them is they are like the best bang for your buck that you can find on the whiskey market.
And
Just across the
most
board.
of us are big craft guys, but when it comes to spirits, the bigger spirits producers can
Crafts.
make just as good spirits, and for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Listen to me. When Stillwater's Distillery, they released their first batches of whiskey, their single malt. I bought 3 bottles, one from each batch. It cost me $270. Complete fucking waste of money. Most of the whiskey you get, like at the LCBO from the big guys, like even the higher end Crown Royal or Weiser's or even Canadian Club, are better than what they make. It's one of those things. It's like, hey, this is craft. We've got to charge you a lot of money for it. Which, admittedly, yes, I know they have to make their profit. I know a lot of taxes go into it. Blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I would not recommend buying their shit until they've been around for 10 years and they have a chance to actually establish their brand and actually have some aged whiskey. Because, yeah, it's not worth it.
Not just establishing your brand and aging stuff, but actually knowing how to blend things right. Because I'll tell you, like, we'll go through so many iterations of a flavor before, like, okay, that final blend with just enough of this and just enough of that to give it its final character. You know, it's there's a lot of R&D, man, that goes on.
Yeah,
Well, and they don't have the size.
Mind-boggling.
They don't
Yeah.
have the size to have all the barrels to do a proper blend of everything.
Well, they don't blend at all. They just do single cask releases. Which, again, I liked the first cask. I thought it was pretty good. The second cask was terrible. And the third cask is okay. But, again, for what they charged, which was $100 for cask 1, $100 for cask 2, and $70 for cask 3, which, granted, the first two were cask strength. They were like 65%, so fair enough. But just not worth the money.
yeah.
But admittedly, I got caught into the hype because they were the first Canadian single malt whiskey from a craft distiller, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I want to support these guys." Blah, blah, blah.
Dillon's is putting out their rye in about a week and a half, and it's something like $95 a bottle.
That's nuts.
Ooh, is that 750?
Yeah, 750s.
Wow. Greg, if you want stronger than 40%, stay tuned. Oh, that's all I'll say. We are playing with some really higher end stuff, like in terms of cask strength, things like Pike Creek and Lot 40. So heads up.
Yeah, I look forward to it because you know what? To me,
Ooh.
whiskey once you get whiskey into the 45 and up percentage, there's just something about it that just starts to just shine.
It's
It's like I like my bourbon at 65%. That's where I like my bourbon.
Well, that's,
man, you like hot. I just did Knob Creek tonight, the single barrel reserve, which is at 60%, and that was pretty fucking flaming at the back of the throat. So yeah.
I was gonna say 65%. What are you getting? Like that's what's the guy?
That's
not
like,
Baker's. That's Booker's bourbon, right?
Booker's. I think he is.
Willett has some small batch stuff too that they do at 65 basic cask strength. Four Roses does stuff like that. But it's basically all you need is like the smallest nip, and it's like you get so much flavor, but it's like, whoo, man.
Yeah, you really gotta sip on it.
Because you know what?
I mean, I would take the smallest dram of it, so they last forever because like you literally need like half a shot.
That's the thing. I was looking at it, it's like this bottle's gonna last me a long goddamn time.
Yeah, no.
And
it's
Lee,
nice, man, but I'm like, that's all it'll do you because it gives you.
And Lee, what did you think
You're
of
just
this?
craving a taste, and.
What did you think of the Knob Creek single barrel? Because I will tell you, Knob Creek regular is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite bourbons. And I have a single barrel, but I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is it the single barrel reserve or is it this regular single barrel? Because there's actually two different ones. The regular single barrel is at I think 50%. The single barrel reserve is at 60%.
No, mine's at 60%.
Okay, so you got the reserve.
Yeah.
It's quite hot, but goddamn, the flavor is amazing. Once you get into it, super goddamn complex. Just all the really good flavors that you expect from bourbon. Very shoe leather in the finish. A lot of sort of rum kind of characteristics to it as well. And man, it kicks you in the ass, but it gives you really good flavor at the same time. So it's like
I'm more attuned with Canadian whiskeys and with Irish and Scottish whiskeys than anything else. But my favorite bourbon personally is Woodford Reserve.
Willett Reserve, you said?
Woodford.
Oh, Woodford Reserve. That is a good bourbon. It's not my favorite though. I prefer my two favorites.
Like I said, I just haven't had many bourbons. Not many at all, to be honest. Like maybe 10.
Well, my two favorites. See, I love bourbons because of how, good value they are. Like, I mean, I've never had Pappy Van Winkle. I imagine it's an amazing bourbon. I've had a Rare Four Roses, which is the 125th anniversary edition, which is absolutely fantastic. But for what it costs, not really the greatest bang for buck. But to me, regular Buffalo Trace and regular Knob Creek, absolutely fantastic. And for what they cost, they compete with single malt scotches that are like twice as expensive.
Yep,
I
I'd
agree
with
there.
that.
Yeah.
And I lump in with Eagle Rare because that's available regularly as well. If you guys ever see that.
Eagle Rare is also fantastic. Yes.
Yep.
That is. Although I've heard they've dropped the age statement on it, so it's. I've only tried the 10-year-old one, but the new one has no age statement, so I don't know if it's better or worse.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're probably blending an 8 to 10 year type of thing.
Yeah.
So, because most bourbons aren't any younger than, well, except for like your bottom shelf shit, but most of those other ones are younger than 8 years. So.
Yeah. You look at like Jim Beam White, which is 4 years, and then it goes up from there pretty much. I mean, Knob Creek is a Jim Beam bourbon. And the only, and actually it uses the same base whiskey as Jim Beam White. It's just that it's aged for 9 years. That's the major fucking difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I like Knob Creek. I do. I also like Maker's Mark. I don't know.
Yeah, love
Those are some decent entry level everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, that's the type of stuff that, if it's free, I'll drink it, type of stuff, but I don't know.
Actually, you know what? Admittedly, I actually quite enjoy Jack Daniels. I mean, I know it's cheap whiskey, it's a little bit hot, but I think it can be pretty decent. Maker's Mark, for some reason, I don't like the regular stuff. I've had the cast strength, and it's much better, but the regular Maker's Mark just doesn't work for me so well.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people. It's like hit or miss for a lot of people. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a Four Roses sort of fanboy. If I had to have a entry level base bourbon, it'd be a Four Roses. I've have a few single barrel stuff from them that I really like. I like how they really cater to the clientele where they have, okay, I'm gonna have a single barrel code like OBSQ or things like that, and I'll tell you, how many years, what kind of oak, which yeast strain they use on this particular one, so you can like pick it apart if you want, and then.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to actually know what you're drinking, right?
Yeah. Buffalo Trace does the same thing. I mean, they have like a massive amount of fucking variations.
Well, they have their like antique collection, but those are expensive as fuck.
Yeah, like I was looking through my 2015 Jim Murray whiskey Bible, and it's like that guy went through like nearly 100 fucking variations of Buffalo Trace alone. Like it's like 3 or 4 pages in this fucking book. Like Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, but when you don't pay for the whiskey you sample, it's easy to try.
Yeah, that motherfucker. I hate that guy so much. It's like he's just, I just tried all these Buffalo Trace variations that no one else can ever fucking taste ever again. You fucking prick.
Yeah.
You know my problem with Jim Murray that his reviews are so like head in the clouds. Like I have a copy of his whiskey Bible. I think it's 2013 or 14. I forget which one. And it's like some of the whiskeys he's just like, this whiskey is like when I was in my 20s and I was making love to this girl and she was doing this thing. I'm like, that's not really a whiskey review. You just told us about your sex life.
Yeah, it's not a review. Yeah. It's like I never stuck my dick in that girl, so I have no frame of reference there, Jim Murray. Thank you.
Now, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but we're all here drinking our beers, enjoying ourselves, while Nick is drinking Labatt Blue.
What? What?
I can't see Nick. I only see his avatar.
Yeah,
he just checked in Labatt Blue.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Oh, sure, you have to draw fucking attention for it.
Oh, no, this deserves...
It's for the tap.
No, you piece of shit. Fuck you. Garbage, sir, I'm sorry. I can't talk to you anymore. Chad, kick him off the fucking chat right now.
I say we murder Nick and have sex with his corpse.
If you do it, I'm going to...
I'd feel dirty.
I'm watching a video right now. The guy called Luke Akins who jumped 25,000 feet into a net.
No, I bought a bunch of beers so I could put the taps on Untapped.
That's not an
you son of a
excuse.
bitch.
It's a
Just do
shitty
what
excuse.
I do and tap in a whole bunch of beers you've never had. I've actually only ever drank 3 beers my entire life.
One of them being Chili King.
Exactly.
Yeah. 10 bitter years is the other one.
And double temper.
All he ever drank is fucking stuff from Black Oak. Let's be honest.
Hey, you know what, Nick? That's the same approach a Pokemon Go person would have. Like, I'm just doing this thing that I really shouldn't be
Careful
doing.
with
just
your
because I wanna
accusations.
No, this is accurate.
Whoa.
Ewart is 100% on point here.
Untapped is Pokemon Go.
It
It's the
pretty
same
much
thing.
is. Yeah, you got to catch them all.
Yeah,
That's
when,
good
you
them
need
all.
when you're concerned about badges, then you've entered a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I don't
What
give
what bachelor bat are you
about
doing right
badges.
now, Nick?
I don't know. I just drank it because I haven't had it. Well, I haven't tapped it yet.
Oh God.
I was on vacation. I'm like, oh wait, I just got a badge for hitting elite on Untapped. Oh wow, who gives a fuck? You know.
You still tapped it.
And elite.
So that
Still
means you
tapped it,
still
though.
care. You still tapped it. That means you still care to some degree.
No, I just mean I was like,
Yeah, now you're making excuses.
I'm
You
delete.
use Untapped. If you didn't give a shit, you wouldn't put anything on Untapped.
All you
I
Untapped
always
people
put on
sadden me.
No,
Sadden
I
me.
put on Untapped because it's more Lee, it's a form of therapy. It's a matter of understanding how big the problem is.
He's into the rapey.
Yeah, but here's the thing: people go to therapy are fundamentally fucked up.
Well,
And it usually doesn't help them.
I'm all self-medicating. It's like WebMD. I don't go to therapy. I just need to
goddamn.
understand how big the problem is, man.
That's right. I went there with a slight pain in my chest, and now it turns out I've got 3 forms of cancer and a heart condition.
You know, learn
Shouldn't
guitar
have
just
looked.
to get on
God damn
stage.
it.
You know, learn guitar just to get on stage with Gord Downey.
Am I the only one that...
way to drag it right into the fucking ditch there, Nick. Gordon Downey's gonna die, so let's bring that up. Not that I like
Sorry,
not that I like the tragically hit, but I mean, come on, man.
Jesus Christ! There's a guy at my work that's been
like
so
anyone.
depressed ever since that announcement was made.
I like plenty of people. I just don't like popular people that everyone else likes.
That's why you hang out with us.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So you're not gonna like Daniel much longer because that kid is going places.
See, there are people, and I've been watching Untapped, and what he says is true, that it is its own thing, like Pokemon Go, when you're all after just the badges. Like, there are new badges like Low Gravity, which is just for non-alcoholic beers, and I know people that will go and re-log things just to get those 20 levels that they've had. Like, there's a lot of badges on here I'll never get because I only drink a beer once unless I love it. And, yeah, there's a lot of things on here that I won't get because of that. And I only tap a beer in once.
Like a 6-pack badge?
Well, and here's the thing with Untapped, though. This is an honor system thing, right? Like, you can literally get any badge you want by just lying and say you've had the beer. And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's like that's how meaningless Untapped is. You know, it's like, hey, I can say I had 1 million of this beer and I get a badge for that.
The only thing is, and this is where I've always had people tell me, oh, I re-tap things in because of that. Whenever they bring in a new badge, they don't count anything you've tapped before. So, I mean, I have 3,744 unique taps. How many of those would actually have given me a lot of these things? Who gives a shit? I don't.
I don't know when I got it. I just looked at my Untapped, but I have 800 badges. I give a fuck about